All right. Welcome to Super Saturday. It is now 10:34 p.m. Chicago time. This is Joseph Brownlee, your host of Body of Christ Real Talk, Health Talk Saturday. Now, it's a few more things I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to hand it over to what I want to do the next few days after a little break. Uh, some doctor testimonies on why this diet is successful, and also from personal testimonies from different people, real short ones anyway. Because I only do it in 15-minute increments. And then I'm going to talk about what's been going on with me. But what I want to open up right now is addictions and why this is one way. You have different types of addictions. You have alcohol, you have drug addictions, you have sexual addictions, you have cigarette addictions, and you have sugar addictions. The sugar addictions falls in the category same as almost carbs, bad ultra processed food. Now, some people, why do I say it like that? Because some people don't have a sugar addiction. They don't use a lot of sugar. They're in bad health, but they don't use a lot of sugar. But the sugar I'm talking about is that crystal white refined sugar that you put sugar in cakes and candies and stuff like that. But the hidden sugar is in the ultra processed foods. Okay. The ultra-processed foods are the hidden sugars in there. Those are the bad carbohydrates. And many people don't pay attention to that, and some people don't even look at that as sugar or don't even know it turns to sugar. A lot of people do, but some people don't. And it's very important to understand that when you go on a low-carb diet, because the focus is always basically on sugar and carbs. That's the focus of a low-carb diet, not the calories. It's the carbs. And it's important you understand what you eat and what has the percentage of carbs in them. And it's important to know what's the bad carbs and what's the good carbs. Bad carbs is all ultra-processed food, period. Now, a lot of people say I don't eat sugar as much because I'm a diabetic and stuff like that. I can't do that too much, blah, 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 blah. So sugary drinks and stuff like that is off for me, so I'm doing fine. And they may be doing fine. But they're not reversing it a lot of times from what I'm hearing when you're diabetic is because the other carbohydrates they're taking in. Now, you have certain diabetic sweetened foods and the way they eat. Maybe it's applesauce, maybe it's certain they call them diabetic bars and stuff like that, which is supposed to be good for the diabetic, And you notice some diabetics, they have that little downfall that they got to drink something sweet or have some orange juice. I know my sister used to do that a lot, and I guess it's supposed to lift their insulin back up or something like that, But they have the candy bars. Notice they say they need something sweet. Now, the problem with that, I understand what's going on a little bit, but the problem with that is it's not going to help to reverse their condition. It's just feeding it and band-aiding it to make them feel better from the weakness and the hypoglycemia or glycemia, whatever they go through. That's what I'm looking at and my own observation. Okay. And I don't see, by what I know now and what I'm learning from a lot of metabolic doctors, because this is information you're not going to get from a traditional doctor, but a metabolic doctor or even a holistic doctor or nutritionist, is there's no way it's going to reverse their condition, their diabetic condition, because it keeps them hooked on sweets and stuff like that. Because if you look at those bars, most of them was low in fat, but they're high in carbs. And the problem is the carbohydrates, which turns into sugar. Glucose, fructose, all those coast stuff is the hidden sugars. All those crazy names and stuff like that is the hidden sugars. See, so basically they're still not getting away from sugar. You understand what I'm saying? Even though they got rid of the so-called white sugar, refined sugar, whatever you want to call it, they still have the hidden sugars that's mostly in the carbohydrates that's keeping people down and keeping them insulin high, because you want the insulin low, even for a non-diabetic. That's why I said, even the soul food, that a lot of us blacks like to eat, black people eat soul food. It's full of carbohydrates. A lot of our soul food is messing us up. It's full of carbohydrates. That includes the fried chicken, not the chicken, but what you put on it. The fried chicken, barbecue chicken, not the chicken, but it's what you put on it. The hamburgers, not the hamburger, but it's what you add to it. Even some of the onions and whatever like that, and the condiments and the seasonings and stuff like that. Those are the problems, those things, not the meat itself. And then you have the processed food, which is the macaroni and cheese for black people, which is the dressing for black people, which is the collard mustard greens that's got all kind of stuff in them and everything like that. It's not so much the greens, it's the contamination of it, because it's the things they have put in before you even bought it, even though you cleaned it and stuff like that. So it's not so much of that. But it's the sweet potato pies, it's the pumpkin pies, it's the cakes, it's the stuff, the soul food that mostly a lot of ethnicities love. They love black people's soul food are full of carbohydrates. Okay, so I want you to understand that what are bad carbohydrates. The best foods that taste good that we really love are basically the foods that's full of carbohydrates, which I like to call poison, slow killers inside your body. So it's mostly the food we love. It's mostly the food we love that got us in this situation anyway. And then we mix it up with lifestyle. Alcohol, drugs, smoking cigarettes, all that's going together just makes it worse. It's just like an add-on. So you got to take all that in consideration. What is bad carbs? You know, you get a lot of foods posted on Facebook, and the majority of them I look at is like a death trap. There's so much poison in it. Remember, I'm saying poison because it's, what usually looks good don't mean that it's good. You got men and women they call fine and beautiful. They look good don't mean they good. Don't mean they good people. So that's the same thing as food. Because it looks good doesn't necessarily mean it's good. So it's the same with food and everything. So you got the Italian food, you got the Irish food, you got the Chinese food, and a lot of those have what? The bad carbohydrates in America. Mainly in America because of junk we put in all those things that we put in it. So let's get into that and everything. And I'm going to talk about in the upcoming episodes about the success that I have had so far, health-wise, being on this all-meat diet. So let's get into this. Now, what has been the benefits for me? What has been the benefits for me? I'm going to go to one of the most biggest benefits so far. Besides the weight loss, I'm 59.8 weight loss in 10 months. And some people have lost much more than that faster. But some reason I only lost 59.8 only is a lot. You look at that much weight, that's a lot of weight for a person that used to be 260 or over. So I'm close to 200 now. I'm 201 point something the last time I weighed myself. And I don't weigh myself every week. I just weigh myself when I just feel compelled to weigh myself because I don't want to focus on the scale, because the scale can be very disappointing sometimes because your body fluctuates for different reasons. Sometimes we focus on the weight, sometimes I forget about the inch loss. So I don't want to focus on that because it can become depressing. Keep weighing yourself. So I don't do that. For each his own, though. So I lost 59.8 pounds, 59 pounds and 8 inches. Good. I'm happy with that. And I can feel the difference. Very big benefit. 59.8. Close to 60 pounds. And I have some way to go. And only, say about 16 pounds to go, I would be satisfied, but I'm not going to stop there. So, I would transition later on down the line, maybe to a few vegetables, but I don't know yet. But I'm about 16 for what I want to go for, a certain strategy or goal, but in maintenance-wise. And we'll talk about that some other time. Yay. But another thing is I have less heartburn. Only time I had that heartburn when I drank 2 Diet Coca-Colas plus all that other stuff I drank with it. I had the heartburn. I already know what it is because that's part of what you learn when you're on this no-carb diet is your body. your body lets you know something too much, or it don't need it anymore. I think it was more too much carbonation in me. But besides that, heartburns, leg pains, and cramps, especially the cramps, has subsided. They just stopped. I haven't had a cramp. I used to wake up and get Charlie horses. Almost every few days, I had Charlie horses. I haven't had a Charlie horse since I've been on this diet. Charlie horses. Okay, I had toe cramps. Like my feet, my toes are locked up. My fingers are locked up because they were so you get soreness and bad nerves, and you get your fingers and hands get locked up. All of that has subsided. I'm not going to say completely stopped it because I won't know that until my body continues to develop. But so far, it has been stopped since I've been on this carnivore diet. Okay, those are great things that bothered me. Back pains is better. My back pain stopped a while ago before this, but it's even better. I don't have problems in backs. I'm more agile. I'm more movable now. I move better and everything like that. I get up faster and stuff like that. Bleeding gums has incredibly subsided because it affects your oral health too. My gums used to bleed, and it have subsided. My gums don't bleed anymore. Certain spots I might hit, it doesn't bleed anymore. Some people have reverse periodontitis disease, stuff like that. But mine have subsided. My gums are not bleeding. I still need some work, but my gums have stopped bleeding. Has subsided. That's another beautiful thing that used to bother me. No more bleeding gums since I've been on this diet. Very occasional, very occasional. Because I think, according to statistics, 70-something% of people have gingivitis or periodontal disease. Young and old, that's sad. 70-something% of people have gingivitis in their gums or periodontitis disease. Okay, so don't be embarrassed about that. The majority of Americans have that because of the food that we consume and the sugar that we eat and stuff like that. So that's the big part of it. Okay. Even young people have gingivitis because of the bad stuff they put in it. Not because of lack of brushing. The most of it is because of the diet and the food that we eat, especially a lot of sugar that destroys your oral, your gums, and your enamel around your teeth and your biofilm around your teeth. Sugar destroys a lot of that. All this is from the research that I'm getting and when I'm learning because I'm in research training from myself. Thank God for YouTube for all this. I don't have to pay for it. Now, another advantage that I have, and I'm going to tell you which one I still struggle with. And that's going to be a battle. I don't have headaches. I haven't had headaches in, close to a year now. And I don't know if they got to do with the diet, but my headache has subsided. I usually get a headache on one side. And one side of my face, I don't get the headaches. Stuff like that. No tooth pains, nothing like that. My eyes are not as better, but they're a little better than everything. But I still don't want to trust myself for driving because I still don't see no good with that glaucoma eye. But I don't have a lot of pain in the eye since I've been on that. Once in a while, I might have had some floaters, but besides that, that have subsided quite a bit and everything like that. My muscles and stuff like that feel stronger. And I see a little definition more in my body again. Definition. I can see my neck again and stuff like that. So I see much definition and everything. A big part, wow, sleep. I don't know how much I can talk about. My sleep is incredible. I don't have a problem falling asleep, and I have deep sleep, and that's a testimony from hundreds and hundreds of people. The deep sleep that you get. Sometimes you have weird dreams because when you haven't had deep sleep in a long time, I don't know if it's scientific proof, but you have the weirdest dream because you remember your dreams. And there's times I didn't remember my dreams, but I remember my dreams now because they're more focused and they're more deep. They're still weird, but I remember deep dreams and everything like that. So there's a lot of things been going on in my life. My time is running out. I only got 44 seconds, but I want to just know what's going on with me and everything and my condition and everything. I got somewhat better energy. I have more energy and everything like that. My focus is much better and everything. My brain fog is much better. Brain fog is much better, all because I've been on this lifestyle of diet. I changed the way I eat by cutting the sugars and the bad carbs. This is what's been going on in my life, okay? This is what's been going on in my life. So it's been an incredible journey. I have more benefits, seem like more than my health, far as that, than my weight loss. And that's the beautiful thing about being on this diet. We're going to get into that more in the next Real Talk Health Talk.